I am absolutely pissed off. I am outraged. I am so mad at not only myself, but just today. Training was absolutely horrendous. I think this is the worst training day I've had in months, if not ever. I wanted so badly to prove to myself what I could do, and in doing so, you push a little harder than you probably should have, considering your fitness level at the time. And, well, guess what? My adductor is strained again. It's not terrible. It'll heal pretty quick. I know within the next week I'll be able to squat 135, 155, whatever. It's not terribly strained. It doesn't like what I did. I am not going to sugarcoat it. I think probably my ego got the best of me today. I was very frustrated coming into today's training session due to someone yesterday. I said in the last video that I have this overwhelming urge to be the best. And yesterday, someone tried to tell me that they were better than me. And, if you're better than me, I'll accept that. But I'll work to beat you. But this kid's not better than me. That's the point. He posts his lifts, and you see them, and they're actual ego lifts, not just like probably putting more weight on the bar than you should for the workout. It's literally, he's not hitting depth. He doesn't bench to his chest and like without a spotter pull it up. He had the spotter pull up his max, and he goes 275. I hit it with the spotter yanking the bar off his chest. I just think that if you're lifting for showmanship, sure, you can do that, but don't try to tell the people who know what they're doing that you're stronger than them. I know I'm not lifting ridiculously heavy or I'm not doing anything super special, but that doesn't mean that I'm not doing something that's making me stronger, and that doesn't mean I'm not strong. It just means I'm doing sets of 20. I'm doing something that nobody does, right? So if I'm not training my body to pull a max, obviously my max isn't going to be what it was. Right now, I'm training to find my leverages, and I'm training to heal my injury. I wanted to prove to myself today that kid wasn't stronger than me, and I think I went about it the wrong way. I put a little bit too much weight on the bar this week. I went from 155 last week to 185 this week when I probably shouldn't have gone up because I wasn't able to get even 3 sets last week. This week I got through 1 set. That's how bad it was. It was terrible. I did not expect this to happen. I came into this training session thinking I'm going to hit it at, no matter what cost, it needs to be done. And I realized that now that's not worth it. I'm not going to hurt myself severely doing this. I'm going to let my body heal. I know when it's time to take off. I know when it's time to rest. For the next week, I'm going to hydrate. I'm going to do a little light stretching. Going to do some more adductor rehab. Really need to strengthen up my adductors because I'm fed up with this. I've had enough. At this point, I might just not squat. I don't know what I'll do instead, but to me it seems that squatting just isn't meant for me if I keep doing this. I can't figure out what's wrong. Nobody's been able to help me. My form looks on point, but just feels like my adductors are falling apart. Not even my adductors, just my left leg. just feels like that adductor is just ripping and grinding and tearing, and it's terrible. I will attribute some of this to my warm-ups today. I was a little bit, not hasty. I rushed my warm-ups a bit. I did a few reps with the bar, a few reps with 135, a few reps with 155. I didn't do nearly enough to warm up my body for a 20 rep set. Although, even this squat right here actually made me feel like I was straining my adductor a little bit. I am trying to work around it the best I can. Luckily, it doesn't hurt when I walk or when I do anything else. I think that next week, if I don't take off, which there's a chance I might take off with squatting and just sumo deadlift. Oh yeah, the adductor strain also affected my sumo deadlift. I was gonna do 315 for 5 for 3 sets. Didn't happen. Only got 1 set. Last rep, just I knew that if I tried to do another set, it would be no good. Just it felt unhealthy, and it was my body's way of telling me that I needed to stop. I'm happy with the progression for my other lifts, my deadlift and bench, even though I still haven't done 4 sets on deadlift. It's something that is a little bit different than bench. Your body doesn't handle as much as easily. So the plan is to keep pushing forwards. I think this strain is a little bit less than any of the other ones that I've done, so pushing forward shouldn't be too terribly hard at this point in time. I do know that it's not a good idea to work through an adductor strain when it comes to squatting, but I need something to work. I've been dealing with this for too long, and I really just, I don't want to give up on squatting because I really like it, but it's something that I don't know why, it just doesn't work for me. I don't think it's my glutes that's causing my adductors to strain. I don't know if it's my quads. I know my quads are weak. I don't know what it is, but I'm befuddled. I don't know. I can't tell. I wish I had someone who could really assess and tell me why it is what it is, but I don't. So I kind of just have to do my own thing. I don't have a way to form check, I guess that would be the term. I really don't have a way to form check. I don't have Dave T, Louis Simmons, Bryce Crossrich, I'm not sure if I'm taking his name, Psychic Strength. I don't have my friend Kyle watching these. I don't have anyone to sit and walk around and look at my feet and look at my knees and look at my hips and my back and everything and tell me why my form is off and what I need to do to fix it. I thought my form was on point. It feels on point. I know I'm not hitting depth. Again, I really don't care. I'm getting quite close to depth, and I know that come the time I need to squat heavy, I can literally just sit a little bit deeper. I cut the depth on purpose. It allows me to keep more weight on my quads and less on anything else. I think massaging, hydration will be the best thing for recovery this week. I really don't know what's wrong. I talked to multiple different people. None of them have been able to figure it out. I'm really at my wit's end with this one. If I do this again, I'm just going to stop squatting and I'll find another movement to do. My squat will get better, with or without it. If I sumo deadlift and conventional deadlift, then I'm sure my squat will go up. The other thing was the back pump today was horrendous. I was destroyed. I was torched. Today, when I was done this set, my back was fried. I went and laid down on the bench, and when I sat up, my back felt a little bit better. But oh my God, I couldn't breathe. It was about a 10 to 15 minute rest from this to the next set. Honestly, that also may have been another factor. Although my adductor wasn't feeling good in this. I just stumbled back, which isn't good. Although my adductors weren't feeling good, it didn't feel like they were going to rip off. And then when I got into that next set, I was trying to just, push through. I find the best way to do these is like 3 sets of 3. Or not 3 sets of 3, 7 sets of 3 minus 1. Because if you're doing just 20 reps all out, no break, no breathing, you're going to use like the bar. There's not really much else you can do. But I got to that. I got through the first set of 3 in my second actual set, and like that spurt of 3 just, I don't know what it was, but it did not feel good at all. And then after that, when I went for that second spurt of 3, I finished out the 3, but man, did I know that it was not happening. I knew that if I pushed any harder, something could have gone seriously wrong. I don't need to fail in my own home. I don't need to fail a lift. I'll just take it as it is. I will move on, and I will work on it next week. Next week, we're dropping the weight down to 155. I need to have a week where I do it right. If I can't do it right for 1 week, what is the point of me doing this at all? The ideology behind this makes sense, and you'd think that fatigue management and energy and all that, you think everything like recovery would be up. You'd think, well, he's only working out 3 times a week, right? He should be fine. But something's wrong. I have no clue why it's not working. Here's when the deadlift starts. I decided I wanted to hook grip all the way up until 315. I did my first rep of 315 hook, and then just pushed out some for the rest. Still trying to clean up my form. It has been a stressful week. I don't want to blame the injury on that, but I know that, not even injury, just light strain. I think it'll heal. It'll heal fine, but I don't want to blame anything on stress, but I do know that stress can be a pretty big factor when it comes to working out. People don't look at it like that, but your sleep, your stress levels, your anxiety levels, the amount you eat, the amount you drink, they make a huge difference. And I think this week I was in a deficit with all of that, besides food. And the calorie deficit is not the only thing. The calorie surplus is not the only thing that helps you training and makes you recover. You need it all. And if you're not getting it all, then you're digging into a reserve that is not as deep as you thought it would be. You're pushing the boundaries of recovery, and if you push the boundaries too far, you risk the chance of injury. And do you want to risk the chance of injury? Probably not. Maybe on meet day. But any other day, there should be a very slim chance of you getting hurt. So, I definitely didn't go into training expecting this, but you know how it goes. Shit happens, gotta deal with it. I will say the form is better. I was able to consistently keep my head up. I think I just need to speed up my setup a little bit. I take a really long time. I also have no clue why I left the clips of the me loading plates in. But if I am able to speed up my setup, I may not use as much energy. And I think me using all that energy is making it really hard for me to also the squats. Quads are fried, and I'm deadlifting right after. And I'm getting this crazy, not only low back, but glute pump. I'm trying to watch what's going on in the video so I can maybe commentate a little bit. The stance I picked usually works pretty well with my adductor. It's not too wide, so I don't have a crazy adductor stretch. But I will say, today, I think it was the last rep of this set, again, my adductor, I could feel it tweak. That we'll call it a tweak. We won't call it a strain. I tweaked my adductor this week. Now, my adductor has never been truly healthy. I've always had issues with my left leg. First, I had a problem with my knee, and then once that healed, everything else kind of started to develop. I thought I ripped the hip flexor, or hip flexor, I think it's part of the iliopsoas muscle. I'm pretty sure it connects into your hip. We thought that I accidentally ripped one of those off the bone. That was one of the most nervous, one of the worst training injuries I thought I ever had. This wasn't even from weightlifting, this was just from sports. And then after that, I had multiple adductor strains and multiple other hip flexor strains. But so this wasn't the worst. But I've been dealing with my adductor and my hip flexor for a really long time. And I just want it to go away at this point. This is one of those nagging injuries that I've had enough of. I think that I don't want to take off of the two things, the sumo and the squat, but I think I should find a happy medium between the two. So maybe instead of doing 4 sets of 20, I should do 2 sets of 20 and then a 3x5. Or maybe instead of squatting, I should be doing a 5x5 on deadlift at a heavier weight. But who knows? I haven't figured this out yet. I might consult with a couple people, see what they think. I really wanted to run this all the way through, but I don't know if I'll be able to. And it's kind of upsetting, but it sure doesn't always work the way we want it to. This is my last set. This was the hardest 315 has ever felt, but it's 315. It shouldn't move. I think it felt hard, but I think that was from the fatigue, because when I watched this back, it moved semi-decent. It didn't move fast, but it most definitely didn't move slow. Here I am, taking my straps off because I wanted to pull hook grip for this. I wanted to get my position for my first rep just so I could figure out what it feels like. And you'll see that my positioning is quite on point. My head's up. I'm sitting back into it some. Yeah, it's a really long setup. It shouldn't be this long, and I think that wastes energy too. I sit in, I try to get my head up, and I'm pressing away, and my glutes, my lower back fried, but I do think maybe part of the adductor strain comes from the glutes. And I'm not sure which has more adductor use, a squat or deadlift, or squat or sumo deadlift. But if I can find that out, which I will talk to a few different people, figure that out. Then I'll decide if I should cut sumo deadlifting out completely Oh, yeah, you see how I'm... Okay. All right, so if you can see how my setup is, if I'm not slowly pushing my hips into the bar, I'm kind of just whoosh and right into it. I think if I were to do that a little bit better, like a little bit slower and more methodical, I think my adductor wouldn't have strained as much today. On Monday, I'll let you guys know what I'm doing with the sumo deadlift and squat day. I might just drop squatting and go for sumo deadlifting, not sets of 20. I'm going to go sets of 10, maybe. But it'll be, actually, you know what, I'll probably go like 10 sets of 2, maybe. Just the first 2 reps, just to work on form. That'll be at a heavier weight. I'll use straps so I don't have to grip, and that'll be the day if I take squats out or if I decide which one I should keep in. Thank you. Enjoy your day.